Why is Google heavily investing in Gemini AI? Will Google's Gemini be a game changer in the realm of artificial intelligence? If it's correct, what is so extraordinary about Gemini? Well, let's see. We all believed for a very long time that Bard would be Google's ChatGPT replacement, but Google proved all of us incorrect in May of this year when it unveiled its forthcoming large language model, Gemini, at the Google I/O conference. Due to the LLM's multimodal characteristics which were disclosed, both tech professionals and hobbyists were interested in it. And now DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis claims that Gemini will be more potent than OpenAI's ChatGPT once it hits the market. According to Demis, DeepMind is developing Gemini, which would be more powerful than ChatGPT, according to a story from IONS that Wired initially published. Additionally, he disclosed that the AlphaGo AI program strategies are being used by the DeepMind's team. Thanks to their early introduction in Microsoft's extensive data center infrastructure to support them, OpenAI's massive language models have so far been outpacing competitors in the AI race. However, given the monthly development of new and potent AI models, ChatGPT's dominance might not persist indefinitely. One of them, Google, stands a much better chance at competing seriously. The information claims that Google's new Gemini project will introduce its next-generation artificial intelligence models as early as this fall. The business chose Gemini to power its Bard AI chatbot and business tools, including Google Docs and Slides. What is AlphaGo? For those who don't know, DeepMind developed an algorithm dubbed AlphaGo that defeated the human world champion in the strategy board game Go. AlphaGo also used a Monte Carlo tree search technique to find and choose its moves during the game of Go. You could see how ChatGPT could have to face off against the consumer-facing solution created by using these techniques on Gemini. Reinforcement learning is a method used by AlphaGo that enables the computer program to learn by making mistakes and receiving feedback on how it performs. Gemini can plan and deal with issues more successfully if they adapt this tactic. In the year 2016, AlphaGo, a DeepMind product, became the first computer program to triumph over a world-class human player in the strategy board game Go. The article quoted Hassabis as saying, "At a high level, you can think of Gemini as combining some of the strengths of AlphaGo-type systems with the amazing language capabilities of the large models." When completed, Gemini could play a major role in Google's response to the competitive threat posed by ChatGPT and other generative AI technology, he continued. Will Gemini unseat ChatGPT as champion? The question of whether the mysterious language model has what it takes to dethrone ChatGPT, which last year surpassed over 100 million monthly active users, is one of the most hotly debated topics surrounding the launching of Gemini. Google initially used Gemini's capacity to produce text and images to set it apart from GPT-4. But on September 25, 2023, OpenAI announced that users would be able to enter voice and image inquiries into ChatGPT. Now that ChatGPT is connected to the internet and OpenAI is experimenting with a multimodal model approach, Google's enormous collection of proprietary training data may be the most dangerous distinction between the two. Data from several services, such as Google Search, YouTube, Google Book, and Google Scholar, can be processed by Google Gemini. An AI-powered chatbot called ChatGPT was first introduced in November 2022 and quickly became extremely popular. The AI chatbot could do several jobs that were previously impossible, such as creating code, articles, music, and poetry. As ChatGPT started to be deployed in a variety of industries, worries about technology potentially replacing human workers in the future also started to surface. GPT-4, a more sophisticated variation of ChatGPT, was also unveiled earlier this year. Even though many experts have forewarned us about the rapid progress of AI, some think the technology may ease human labor and prove to be a useful assistant. Google unveiled Gemini during the I/O Developer Conference. Gemini was created from the ground up to be a multimodal, highly efficient at the tool and API integrations, and built to enable future innovations, Google said during the event. Gemini AI, according to Google, will come in a variety of sizes and capabilities. It exhibits its flexibility and enables fine-tuning to particular needs. Google is certain that Gemini AI will triumph in ChatGPT for factors other than money. Instead, the AI's core is under investigation. So why Gemini AI? Google has no motivation to produce an already existing thing. Gemini AI is therefore not concentrating on performing at par with the GPT-4. The artificial intelligence that defeated the Go world champion is known as AlphaGo. Google is also using the same algorithms that drove AlphaGo to develop Gemini AI. Gemini will eventually become a great planner and problem solver as a result. The process of reinforcement learning was used to build AlphaGo. The application will repeatedly try to complete a task using this tactic. Based on the comments it gets, it can get better. Instead of concentrating on the conventional LLM approach of feeding models with data, Gemini researchers are pushing the envelope by including problem-solving functionalities inspired by their knowledge of robotics and neuroscience. Since ChatGPT's launch, DeepMind has struggled to keep up with its exponential surge in popularity. Hassabis, though, remains unfazed and is adamant that the merger between DeepMind and Google's main AI division, Brain, will be successful. Given the dangers AI brings to Web3, banking, media, and health, concerned consumers protection groups in the EU and the US are urging regulators to take proactive measures to restrict the hazardous of AI misuse. Despite ChatGPT's dominance, Demis Hassabis, CEO of Google's DeepMind, recently stated to Wired that Google's Gemini AI system would soon surpass GPT-4. AlphaGo and Gemini's text response capabilities will be combined by Google. On the other hand, Hassabis does not take his support for the advancement of AI lightly. He was one of the several experts and well-known people who agreed to sign a letter stating that pandemic or nuclear war-like risks posed by AI could exist. He also cautioned that if AI development keeps moving forward at its current rate, there won't be much time left to put safeguards in place. The reasoning behind Gemini is straightforward: to compete and become more resource-friendly. Google intends to improve the functionality of its enterprise-based products, such as Google Docs and Slides, and power Google Bard. Additionally, Google changes developers to use its Google Cloud Server rental division to access the Gemini AI software. This action will directly compete with Microsoft and its Office 365 AI integrations. Gemini could launch in the fall of 2023, which could lead to a further advancement in the field of medical science because Gemini could power medical AI chatbots and robots. The main training resources for the Gemini AI application will be Google's large knowledge-based and rich, data-driven application base. You already have a winner when you combine these big language model (LLM) training lists with a deep experience-driven understanding and a thriving talent pool. Gemini is combining a multimodal encoder and decoder utilizing a novel architecture. It is the responsibility of the former to translate various data kinds into a common language that the latter can comprehend and utilize. The decoder also produces outputs in many modalities, which is the innovative aspect of the most recent Google creation. Since Gemini is not solely dependent on its base data training, you can anticipate new outcomes. Without relying on its initial data training, the application will be able to develop as it goes along. When Google's Gemini launches, will ChatGPT and the latter be at its odds? With the release of its newest program, Google does want to crush the competition. Here's what is currently known about Gemini and how it compares to ChatGPT, its primary rival. The GPT-4 language model has a sizable parameter count of between 1 trillion and 1.7 trillion. It swiftly provides answers and inquiries, prepares essays, and translates languages. However, ChatGPT is constrained in what it can and cannot perform. The multimodal intelligent network Gemini, on the other hand, will be able to manage a variety of tasks, data-driven requirements, photos, audio, videos, 3D models, and even graphs once it's deployed. Gemini is a collection of model networks, hence it can handle many queries at once without being constrained. The launch date for Google Gemini is still a mystery as of this video. According to the speculation about its release, it may be accessible to a larger audience between September and December 2023. After Google Gemini is released later this year, OpenAI and Gemini will compete on the open market. While consumers have given OpenAI's ChatGPT ample attention, Gemini AI should be a breath of fresh air with its novel viewpoint on AI and improved capabilities. So does Google Gemini compete with ChatGPT? Only time will tell because Gemini's debut and complete feature set are still very much in flux. That's it, guys. Stay tuned for more tech news like this. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.